So let's get started. We are going to start in a comfortable seated position. So I want you just to start to ground down, beginning to let go. Bring your eyes closed. Take one hand to your heart center and one hand to your belly. Just beginning to inhale and exhale. Good. So taking about 5 breaths total right there. And setting your intention for the practice. So what brought you onto your mat today? Your intention is what brings you to the mat. Your attention is what you're going to give to yourself during this time. You're going to stay present, you're going to stay in your body, you're going to stay grounded, okay? So coming into our first posture, it's going to be cat and cow tilt. So you're on all fours. This is where I was saying it's good to have a thicker mat. If you don't have a thicker mat, you can bring it up, double it over to support your knees, and then bring it back when you're done. So I'm gonna turn this way so that you guys can see. So we're gonna push into the shoulders, allowing the back to round, really pushing into those scapula and let the head hang heavy. Then you're gonna slide the shoulders onto the back, lifting the tailbone slightly, lifting crown of head. And we're gonna do this 5 times. Inhaling and exhaling as you move through the posture. One more. Good. We're going to sit back to a child's pose. So sitting back into child's pose, you can take a wide leg child's pose, or you can have your knees together. This is going to get a little bit more of your mid back. The wide leg is going to get more of your low back and your pelvis. And then forehead to the mat. And breathe. Good. You can just maybe add a little bit of movement here if you want. Sometimes rolling across the forehead feels really good. And it actually relieves tension. Good. So from here, we're going to push back to either downward facing dog or puppy. So puppy, you're going to stay here and you're going to reach your hands out, okay? And then you're going to kind of let your head hang heavy but balance above. So you'll see I'm not sitting all the way back because that would be a child's pose. In puppy, I can have my pelvis a little bit behind the knees, but I don't want it all the way back, okay? So right here, if you're going to come up into downward facing dog, what I want you to do is I want you to bend your knees, tip your tailbone towards the ceiling, lengthening the legs, the heels drop last. There will be space between every finger, so as if you're waving to someone. And then I want you to push down with this outer rim of your palm. That's going to help protect the wrists. Do not worry about whether or not your heels touch the mat. In fact, I tell my students, I don't care if your heels ever reach the mat. What I care about is that you're getting as much length from your tailbone to the crown of your head as you possibly can. Remember to let the shoulders slide onto the back just like they were in that cow position, and then relax the neck. A lot of people have a tendency to try to like hold their neck and head in place. Nope, we want you to relax it. This is technically a resting posture or pose. So we're gonna breathe. Good. Again, it's about 5 breaths, and then we're going to step forward. We're going to come to a half lift. Oh man, half lift. So in this half lift, it's the same thing as that. You're pulling the shoulders back. You want a nice flat surface here. If you can go deeper, you're welcome to, but at least on the first couple, I recommend your hands above your knees. And remember, don't lock your legs out. You want to soften those hamstrings. So you can put as much bend into it as you would like. Good. Then we're going to lengthen again, release, and come all the way up to a standing posture. From here, we're going to do what's called, a Surya Namaskar, which is basically a vinyasa. So if you've been to a yoga class, you'll hear them refer to as a vinyasa. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. You're going to step the feet back, coming to a plank posture or a kneeling plank. So I'm going to turn sideways again so you guys can see. So kneeling plank, right? Elbows are going to come along the sides of the body as you lower, all right? You want to be able to count to 4 before you hit your mat. If you can do that, then you can be on your toes. If you can't, I want you to stay hands and knees. So that will be like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're gonna inhale. And this first one, scoot back so you guys can see. This first one, we're going to come into a cobra or a sphinx pose, okay? Lifting up through the sternum. Then we're going to come back through hands and knees if you want. Coming to puppy if that's where you're at. Or pushing back to downward facing dog. We're gonna walk or step your feet forward. So when you walk your feet forward, you're gonna pick your leg up, bringing it in towards the chest, and then you're gonna step. And you're gonna start doing that right from the beginning so that you are practicing engaging that core. And on top of that, it's going to help you when you step forward to some of the lunging positions. Because otherwise, your leg sometimes can have a tendency to get stuck. And I'm gonna pull my hair back into a bun so it stops falling in my face while I'm talking to you guys. So we're gonna do 2 of those, 2 full ones. So inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, fold. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to fold. Stepping the feet back to that full plank or kneeling plank. Exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Or if you're still comfortable here in cobra, you can just stay in cobra. Tucking the toes under, push back and up. Again, that modification for this posture would be puppy, so knees remaining on the mat. And breathe. Good. Again, pulling that leg in, bringing it forward. Or you can kind of walk them forward if that's easier for right now, but I would recommend to start practicing pulling that knee all the way into the chest, lengthening halfway, exhale, fold, inhale, rise. Okay, so even though those were kind of broke up, there's 2 of those. So the next one we're gonna do is a sun salutation B, which adds in a chair pose. So on chair, a lot of people go like this and they arch their back to try to, I don't want you arching your back. Okay, I want you protecting your back by utilizing your core. So the best way to do that is as you sit down and you feel that starting to like lift out, you're gonna push your rib cage in and then extend. You might not be able to go as deep. That is totally fine. We're engaging core, okay? And then exhale to fold. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Step back. Again, kneeling plank or plank, lowering 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down. Step the foot forward. Inhaling to lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold. Get those hips back. Find your chair. Make sure you're engaging, right? And then push to standing. Sorry, I know that's like a little bit of a weird angle with where the camera is, but okay, so the next thing that we're gonna do, so we've done a vinyasa and a vinyasa, including our chair pose, our lightning pose, okay? The next thing we're gonna do is a tree pose. So tree pose can start here. If you are not a balanced person, that's totally fine. This is still tree pose, okay? Again, remember everything is intention and attention, right? So this is where we're coming back, being present in the body, and it's okay if we don't have balance. Some days I have balance, some days I don't have balance, right? Lots of things go into that. So if you want to go a bit higher, you can put your foot on your calf muscle, okay? If you want to go even a little bit higher, you can bring your foot up into your inner thigh. Here is the thing with tree pose. If this is where you are, I do not want you right here, okay? I want you either down here or up here, not on the side of the knee. Because people wobble when they're balancing, if you push that way, you're gonna end up blowing your knee out. So it's really important to not ever place your foot right on that knee joint, okay? So you're gonna hold this for about 5 breaths, which you probably already have while I've been speaking to you. And so then we're just gonna switch sides, okay? Breathing, connecting. Remember your modification points and your full expression. Okay, so this is what the full expression looks like. Good. From here, we're gonna do a sun salutation. So inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Stepping the feet back, finding that plank or kneeling plank. Exhaling to lower. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. So on your next natural inhale, you're gonna inhale your right leg up. Exhaling to bring it through in between the hands. That was where I was saying that warming up of bringing the knee in to the chest is so important, or to the belly. All right, then you're gonna allow your back heel to pivot and drop down. So it's at a slight diagonal. You're gonna windmill your arms up and you're gonna come into Warrior 2. So Warrior 2 will look like this on your mat, but obviously I was going the wrong way. So Warrior 2, I kick this back foot in a tiny bit. I'm pushing through the outside of my foot on the pinky side, okay? Then I wanna make sure my knee isn't one way or another. I want it right in line with my ankle, and I should be able to see all 5 toes, okay? This hip is dropping in a tiny bit, okay? So I'm not like this, trying to open up this way. I'm allowing that to settle in, and then my twisting is coming from this upper portion of my body, evening out. And you can take about 5 to 10 breaths here, okay? And then you're gonna switch sides. So you can choose to do a vinyasa in between. So stepping back, lowering, coming to down dog, and lifting the left leg up and coming through. Or you could just turn from side to side, okay? So you do not have to do all those extra vinyasas. But see, you can see my leg isn't tilting this way or this way, okay? Most often you'll see people's legs like this. You wanna drop back to center. Good. This time we are for sure gonna take a vinyasa as part of it. Again though, your practice, you do not have to take a vinyasa. Exhaling, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up. Exhaling it through in between the hands. You're gonna come up to that warrior 2 position, okay? Finding that alignment that we just went through. And then you're gonna bring your elbow to your thigh and the arm comes out of the side of the body. So that, again, so you guys can see it this direction, looks like this. See how I look like a nice straight line? One way to engage the shoulder is to take your arm in front of you, pull the shoulder onto the back, and then keep that engagement as you rise, and you get more shoulder engagement. And again, this is going to be about 5 to 10 breaths. Good. And then you can take that vinyasa or you can switch sides, whichever way you're going. I am going to do the vinyasa, so that would be me bringing my hands down to the mat, lowering, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Inhaling, left leg up. Exhaling through in between the hands. Back heels pivots and drops down, finding that alignment in warrior 2. Then elbow to thigh, and then pull that shoulder onto the back and bring it up. Gaze can be straight out. It can be up at the fingers. You want that arm kind of like hugging by your ear, but I don't want your arm behind you. I want you to be able to see your hand. Okay, that's really important so that you're not putting undue stress on your scapula, which is this part of your shoulder. Breathing. Good. Inhaling back up. And we're going to take that vinyasa transitioning to our next posture. So this is the one that you would typically do. You do not have to though. Remember that. Every time I say we're doing one, it's not required. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhaling, right leg up. Exhaling, bringing it through in between the hands. And we're gonna come up through warrior 2. So are you guys getting the sense that warrior 2 is kind of a base pose? We build on it a lot. So it's one of the reasons it's really good to like have a really strong warrior 2 position, because it's gonna set you up for a lot of the other standing postures. So we're going to slowly straighten this front leg, push all the way forward, and then we're gonna tip open in triangle. What that is going to look like is, so from here in warrior 2, I'm gonna slowly straighten that leg. See, I'm not locking it though, right? Don't ever lock the legs. And I'm gonna push my arm as far forward as I can go until my body just tips open. And then holding in a triangle. You can do it up here as a modification, You can also bend that leg a little bit if it's too much. It does not have to be straight the very first time you do it, okay? But we definitely don't want to lock it. Good. And then switching to the other side. So we're gonna do that vinyasa. Lifting left leg up, bringing it through in between the hands. Warrior two on this side. So pushing as far forward as we can until the body tips open in triangle. And you'll see that I'm in such a parallel position that you can't see the back half of my body. That's how it should be. But you can also see that my arm isn't in all these wonky positions. It's in a nice flat plane as if I was flying. Good. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to the mat, stepping back, slowly lowering. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down. Good. Inhale, right leg. Exhale, bringing it through in between the hands. We're going to drop that back foot down again, coming up to a warrior two, and then we're going to turn completely sideways on the mat. So we have both feet parallel to the mat or canted in a little. So parallel or canted in, not out. Okay? And then we're going to fold forward. Yeah, I'm not live, I'm recording though. And lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold. And you're gonna hold that for about 10 breaths. Okay, so folding right halfway. Now I'm gonna turn this way so you guys can see. So I'm pushing my hips back, okay? And again, softening in the knees, all right? So lock and lock. Pushing the hips back and then allowing the body to fold forward. Inhaling to lengthen halfway and then exhaling to fold. Then we're gonna walk our hands around to the top of the mat and we'll just step back to plank from here. Slowly lowering. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And breathe. Inhale, right leg up. Exhaling, bringing it through in between the hands. You're gonna lift up to what's called a high lunge or Ashta Shindrasana, which I guess I haven't really been giving you guys the yoga names. I'll go over those in another video. But so in high lunge, here is what I see with a lot of people. Their heels down. This is a high lunge. This is collapsing, okay? So when I come up onto the ball of my foot, now I'm engaging the leg. And breathe. And so that's gonna engage front of my leg, my glutes, back and quad and hamstring on the front and back, okay? So that's really important. We're gonna go through another vinyasa. Lower, inhale, exhale. And remember, you guys are staying in one direction on your mat. You're not moving side to side. So moving in and out of those vinyasas is gonna be much more fluid for you. Inhaling, left leg up. Exhale, bring it through. Inhaling to rise, high lunge, okay? And you can see that I'm not way over here. That's another thing I see is I see people trying to get their feet in the same line. No, no, no. You do not walk with your feet like this, right? We walk like that. So that's exactly how we want to practice. And then again, you'll see I just adjusted my leg because I could feel it pulling out a little bit. Breathe. And exhale, stepping back to plank or kneeling plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. exhale down. And then we're gonna take a moment to pause here. You can rest in this downward facing dog, or you can come down into a child's pose of your choice. So either, again, knees together or knees apart, okay? And I'm gonna have you guys sit there for a few breaths. I'm gonna grab some water real quick. Sorry, that bottle makes weird noises. Remember to be hydrating throughout your practice, okay? So, sitting in that child's pose, bringing your awareness back to that intention. What brought you onto your mat today? Good. And from here, we're gonna come to hands and knees, okay? And then we're going to lengthen out onto our bellies. So the posture that we're going to do next is called Sambasana, or like if you've seen it in a regular workout routine, it'll usually be called like a Superman or something, okay? So all you're gonna do is you're gonna pull your shoulders onto your back, and then you're just gonna lift up as far as you can, okay? And I don't want you like looking way up and stretching your throat, right? I just want your gaze straight out in front of you. Shoulders engaged onto the back, hands are nice and poised, okay? So this might be as far as you go. You can come up a little higher if you want. You can take your hands behind you. You can take your hands here or here. This is the hardest. This is a medium. This is gonna be the easiest as far as unweighting the hands, but the most modified version is gonna be right here, using the support of your hands while you build strength in your core. You're gonna focus on pulling the belly button slightly towards the spine. I want you to relax the glutes. I don't want you clenching the glutes, but I do want you to try to bring the feet as close together as you can. Sometimes it's gonna be like easier. Other times, like this might be as close as you get, like 6 inches apart. It's okay. Okay, and you're gonna hold this for about 5 to 10 breaths, which you should have already done while I was talking you through it. Then I just want you to come down to your forehead, relaxing out of the posture. And then we're gonna transition through to our back. So I am going to turn this way really quick and show you that Salambasana, how it looks from the side. Okay, so my legs are together, my hands, and I'm lifting, right? Or if I'm just coming up, just my chest, right? Eventually you want to kind of like be able to get your chest all the way off the floor, but not the first few times. Don't even worry if it's not even close. Good. And then coming onto the back, I'm also gonna come in this direction first for you guys, and then I'll adjust. Okay, so I have to take my hair out of a bun though, because I can't do it with this posture. It puts pressure on my neck, so give me just a second. Okay, so you're gonna pull your shoulder blades onto the back. See how I just did that, like tucked them under? And then I have my hands here in a 90, okay? I have my feet close to my glutes, but not, like it doesn't have to be crazy close. So in fact, I'll scoot back a little bit so you guys can see a little bit better, okay? So glutes, feet, that's about as close as I like them, but when you're starting, you might want them out a little bit further. It's easier, right? Better modification. So then as you inhale, you're gonna lift with your thighs or your quads, not your hips, okay? Lifting with our quads. We're gonna push into the arms and lift, and we're coming into a bridge pose, okay? You're gonna kind of feel some pressure on the back of your head. That's where you should be grounding down. You can adjust your arms a little bit more if you would like, or sorry, not your arms, your shoulders. Pulling a little bit further under, that's gonna give you a little more stability, maybe a little bit more height, okay? What we're not doing is trying to lift through our hips and then our legs fall apart. No, no, no. We want everything in line, right, with how we are naturally. and we're engaging the core. So this is kind of what's bracing you and helping you hold this posture. So as you get further along in the practice, you'll start to reach your hands together underneath, but that's not where we're at today. So I'm gonna turn a little bit diagonal so I'm not like just completely in a weird position on camera. But again, so that's gonna go like this, lifting with this area, okay? And then I'm checking to make sure my core is engaged and then just settling in. I even rest my hands here sometimes. And again, this posture is about 5 to 10 breaths. So releasing when you're ready. I want you to take your arms out and overhead and then lengthen your legs and take a moment to lengthen in opposite directions as far as you can. Just kind of helping to realign that spine. Then what we're gonna do, so we're kind of in the closing postures now for this particular practice today. So coming on to the back, you're just gonna bring your knees into your chest, okay? I don't want you rolling into, well, actually I don't mind on this one. You can roll up a little bit on this one. It's called Apanasana. So it's literally a ball, that's what it is. So you can do that a little bit. If reaching for your shins is too much, you can hook your hands behind your knees like I'm doing now. Kind of, we want the legs together on this one. Happy baby, they would be more open. This one, they're gonna be more in, okay? And then if you want, you can kind of roll back and forth like this. What that's gonna do is that's gonna massage the spine and it's also gonna strengthen your core, okay? So I know it's kind of a funny position or, yeah, posture position. And we probably have not been rolling around like little eggs since we were in elementary school, if it's something you even ever did. But it is actually good for you. It also actually helps to start allowing the body to make extra dopamine because it is like softening the nervous system for you. It's kind of a weird like little kid thing that's inside of us, and so it just kind of assists with that. So that's that. From here, okay, I'm gonna turn this way. I know it's kind of awkward for you guys, but you're gonna come onto your mat, and then I'm going to have you pick up your hips only, right? My feet didn't move, just my hips and my pelvis moved, right? Which I should have said pelvis, not hips. And I'm gonna take them to the right side of the mat. Then I'm gonna lengthen my left leg all the way out. I'm gonna draw my right leg in, and I'm gonna allow it to drift across the body, okay? And then you can take your right arm out. So I'm gonna turn this way. But what I don't wanna see is I don't want there to be space between you and the ground so you can try to get your knee to the ground, okay? I don't care if your knee ever touches the ground. What I do care about is that your shoulders, both shoulders, stay grounded to the mat. Your thoracic spine, which starts at the base of your neck and goes to the bottom of your rib cage, it's meant for forwards and backwards bending, okay? Your lumbar, which starts at the base of your rib cage and goes to the top of your pelvis, your tailbone, it's meant for twisting back and forth. So that's why we're twisting here, right? But grounding here. Now, does the thoracic spine have the ability to twist a little bit? Absolutely. Does the lumbar spine have ability to move forwards and backwards? Absolutely. Here's the thing though, that's not their intended purpose. So if you are constantly doing something repetitive, it will wear down those vertebrae over time. You could slip a disc, you could pinch a nerve. So the reason it's so important in yoga to focus on keeping those alignments is because we do tend to do a lot of the same postures over and over again, right? Or like maybe tiny variations of them, but very close. And most closing sequences have some type of lumbar twist in them, Okay, so again, as you open up, your knee will start to come closer to the floor. You can see my knee is not even touching the floor right now, and that's totally fine. I don't need it to be. I'm getting plenty of a twist and opening in my body in a safe manner, protecting my back. Good. Go ahead and unwind, and we're going to switch sides. So see how I picked my hips up and shifted them to the side that I'm going to twist on, or the top leg that I'm going to twist on, right? So then I'm going to lengthen out the right, and I'm going to twist this way. And you can see I am completely grounded. My knee isn't on the ground, but my shoulder is. If I try to touch, see the difference there? And you'll see people doing this all the time. Again, can you do it? Well, yeah, because I just did it, right? Should you do it? No. Just because you can do something doesn't always mean you should. Your body will eventually open up and relax into the posture over time, right? We're utilizing yoga to help heal the body, not to strain the body. So we want to make sure we're very intentional and paying attention to what we are doing, right? Breathe and release. Good. From here, we are going to take another laying posture. So this one is, it's basically a pigeon pose lying on the ground. So you're gonna take your right leg, place your ankle right below your knee, okay? And then I want you to engage the foot, and then I want you to mentally push that leg away from the body, okay? So a lot of times it's like this. You're gonna mentally push it to where it's parallel, okay? From there, you can bring your left leg towards the body if you want, okay? This is one where I don't want you going like this to try to get that leg, a hold of that leg, okay? I want the sacrum and the pelvis flat on the floor. I want the shoulder blades on the floor. So this might be as far as you can go in this posture. And you want to make sure that I can't see your knee, right? Like in front of my foot. You can see my knee, but you can see it's in line with my foot. That means I'm actively engaging that. Good. And we're just going to switch sides by doing the same thing. And you might have one side that you're way more flexible on than the other. That is absolutely normal. It's 100% common. Almost everyone has it. You do not have to do the exact same action on both sides. So if you have an injury on this side or need to make a modification, this may be far enough for you. And I should have said that before I pulled my leg in on the other side. This might be as far as you go, okay? And that's fine, right? There's nothing that says you have to pull the leg towards the body. In the event that you can do something on one side but not on the other, what you're going to do is use the same amount of intention on both sides. And over time, your body will work it out. It will start to balance itself out until it comes into alignment, okay? Good, and release. And from here, we're just going to roll down onto the mat, and you're going to drop into Shavasana. So hands up towards the ceiling, toes relaxed, feet towards the sides of the mat. Allow the eyes to drift closed. If you have something that you can place over your eyes, this is a great time to do that. It just kind of helps you like stay a little more present in Shavasana. Shavasana is one of the hardest poses but not for the reasons of physicality. It is one of the hardest poses because I'm asking you to lay quiet and to not focus on any thoughts or anything for a couple of minutes. Ideally, Shavasana should be a minimum of 5 minutes to 10 minutes long. It usually takes about 3 minutes for people to really start to settle in and relax. So you are welcome to continue to lay in Shavasana. However, I am going to end this session. I just want to say thank you for practicing with me today. I hope you have a wonderful morning, midday, evening, wherever it is and whatever you're doing. Thank you.